Hello everyone, welcome to LICD lecture 21C. Today we are going to derive the expression for frequency for a stable multivibrator. So let us start. As we have seen, this is my circuit diagram for the stable multivibrator. So we have a positive feedback connected via resistor voltage divider network R1 and R2. So the voltage across the R2 is the beta times V out, where beta is given by R2 upon R1 plus R2. And the negative feedback part is connected via resistor R3, and we have a capacitor C1 connected to the inverting terminal of the op amp, and this we have marked it as V minus and V plus. The voltage of across the capacitor is VC1. And okay, so let us start now. A stable multivibrator is also called as square wave generator. We have seen that in last design. So from this circuit, we can determine that the fraction of the output, now output is V out. So fraction of output is beta times V out, where beta is less than 1 basically. Okay, so the fraction of the output is fed back to the input terminal, to the non-inverting terminal of the op amp. So that is fed back to the non-inverting terminal of the op amp, where your beta is given by R2 upon R1 plus R2. So kindly remember that this R2 and R1 can be interchanged. Basically, if for confusion is some people have written R2 up and R1 down, accordingly this formula will change. Okay, so here the reference voltage V plus is actually beta V out, which can take a value, any value between. So yeah, so since output of a stable multivibrator can be plus VSAT or minus VSAT, the reference voltage V plus can take any value between plus beta VSAT or minus beta VSAT. So you can remember this fine. Remember this point. Okay. So output is also fed back to the inverting terminal, the inverting input terminal by means of R3 and C1 combination. Okay, now one thing you remember, that whenever V minus becomes very very close to V plus, output of the stable multivibrator switches. So what it switches between? It switches between plus VSAT to minus VSAT, or minus VSAT plus VSAT, resulting in a square wave output, which we'll be seeing now shortly. So we consider that at an instant of time when the output is we at plus VSAT. So let us consider fact that at this instant of time the output is at plus VSAT. So basically we are talking about this point over here. Okay, so right now output is at plus VSAT. So what will happen? My capacitor will start charging towards plus VSAT. Correct? So here it is. My capacitor will start charging towards my plus VSAT point through R3, and basically your V plus terminal is still held at the point beta VSAT, correct, by R1 and R2 resistor. So as soon as the voltage across the capacitor tries to exceeds beta VSAT, so here is my beta VSAT which is held by the V plus terminal. Now I guess I can little bit, yeah, I think it is visible. Yeah, I hope so. That, let me just expand it a little more. Yeah, I think this should be visible. Yeah, so what happens is, let me just reduce this. Yeah, fine. So right now the situation is V out is at plus VSAT, V plus is at beta VSAT, and whenever the capacitor voltage tries to cross beta VSAT, the output will switch. Basically what is happening is, whenever the V plus is at beta VSAT and V minus is also trying to reach beta VSAT, the output will immediately switch. It cannot be both V plus and V minus cannot be at the same potential. Whenever they come very very near to each other, their output will switch the state. So that is what will happen. So output will immediately switch from plus VSAT to minus VSAT, and now the capacitor starts discharging through R3 towards minus VSAT, because right now the output stated as minus VSAT. And whenever the voltage across the capacitor, when it discharges, it should discharge towards minus VSAT. But whenever the voltage across the capacitor tries to exceed minus beta VSAT, again the output switches back to plus VSAT from minus VSAT. and the cycle will repeat itself. So the next time the output is at plus VSAT, again the capacitor will charge towards towards VSAT, and again whenever the voltage across the capacitor tries to goes beyond this beta VSAT, the output state will again change. So this will result in a square wave output. Okay, I hope that this point is clear. Now let me expand this waveforms so that we can derive the expression. Yeah, we can concentrate on these waveforms now. So this is my output waveform versus time. Remember, we have a stable multivibrator without any input. The circuit generates a square wave output, basically. Let me adjust this. Yeah, I think this will do. Yeah. So the voltage across the capacitor as a function of time can be written as follows. So Vc of t, it's a function of time, is given by Vf plus Vi minus Vf e raised to t upon tau. I mean the tau is basically R3 into C1. So basically it's a time constant, R3 into C1, where Vf is the final value of the capacitor voltage. Vc1 is my initial value. So here my initial value across the capacitor, let us assume that it is beta minus beta Vsat. Okay. So we can rewrite the formula as Vc1 of t. Actually, our capacitor is C1. So hence we are writing Vc of 1 of t is equal to Vf value is plus Vsat, and Vc1 is initial value of, this should be Vi actually. Sorry, I should have written it as Vi. So this is basically Vi. So please note it down. This is not Vc1, this is Vi, because that is the initial voltage. So Vi will be minus beta Vsat, and Vf is actually Vsat. So this is the expression which we will get, and from this expression we'll take Vsat common over here. So if you remove the bracket, you will get Vsat minus Vsat into 1 plus beta times e raised to t upon R3 into C1. So now we can take Vsat common. So you will get Vc of 1 of t is equal to Vsat into 1 minus 1 plus beta times e raised to t upon R3 into C1. So let us call this equation number 1. Now at t equal to T1, my capacitor voltage reaches the peak value beta Vsat, and my output switches. So the output switches from plus Vsat to minus Vsat. So what are we writing? What do we know in the step number 3? Step number 3, we know that the voltage across the capacitor right now is at plus beta Vsat, correct? And I mean, we will substitute this value over here. So Vc of, now this was general time. I mean, it was t. Now we have a particular time, T1. So Vc of, Vc1 of T1 is actually equal to beta Vsat is equal to Vsat minus Vsat. Here we are opening the bracket over here. Vsat minus Vsat into 1 plus beta times e raised to T1 upon R3 into C1. So here we equate the terms. I mean, we collect the terms together. So this Vsat will go over here. So it will become Vsat into 1 minus beta is equal to 1 plus beta times Vsat into e raised to T1 upon R3 into C1. So we just, collect the terms of, Vsat, and here we divide this. That is 1 plus beta times Vsat, will put it in the denominator. Your Vsat will get cancelled, and you get 1 minus beta upon 1 plus beta is equal to e raised to minus T1 upon R3 C1. So basically, if you take a logarithmic natural log on both the sides, you will get ln of 1 minus beta upon 1 plus beta is equal to that, e raised to, will go because of natural log. So it will be equal to minus T1 upon R3 C1. So it's just a matter of rearranging the terms. So you will get finally the expression of T1 as R3 C1 ln of natural log of 1 plus beta upon 1 minus beta, where beta is given by R2 upon R1 plus R2. Let us confirm it. So yeah, beta is given by R2 upon R1 plus R2. Now let us go back to the derivation. Yeah. So if you see carefully, this 0 to T1 is the half period. So as you know, it's a square period. It's a square wave. So basically, your this half and this half will be equal. So the total time period will be twice of t1. We can safely say that because it's a square wave. Square wave have 50% duty cycle. That means the on time and off time are exactly the same. Okay. By the way, duty cycle is t on upon capital upon total t. That is a time period. So your t will be, the time period will be twice of t1. So that will be twice of r3 c1 natural log of 1 plus beta upon 1 minus beta, where beta is r2 upon r1 plus r2. So this is my time period for my stable multivibrator, and my frequency will be given by 1 upon t. It will be, frequency will be 1 upon 2 times r3 c1 natural log of 1 plus beta upon 1 minus beta. So this is my frequency of oscillation. Now there are two scenarios over here. If we substitute R1 equal to R2, we'll get beta as half, and we'll get T is equal to twice R3 into C1 natural log of 3. Now if we substitute, it will be helping in a design, right? Whenever we have a design, normally we consider R1, R2 same, or we consider R1 as 1.16 times R2. So when we consider R1 as 1.16 times R2, then beta will be 0.4629. That will be the factor. And if you take a natural log of 0.46219, you will get 1. So my time period will be twice R3 into C1. So here my frequency of oscillation in this case, whenever I select this resistor, R1 as 1.16 times R2, my frequency of oscillation will be 1 upon 2 R3 into C1. So totally depend upon my frequency of the square wave totally depends upon the external components R3 and C1. Okay, I hope that this point is clear. And one more point is that the output swings here for a square wave generated, output swings between minus Vsat to plus Vsat or vice versa. So my output peak to peak value will be always twice Vsat, and Vsat is around 90% of your power supply voltage. So this is my output peak to peak amplitude. Okay, now there is one more important concept of output. We have just now said that output is, its maximum output can be twice Vsat, but Vsat is basically 90% of VCC. What if we want a much lesser voltage than that? That is achievable by a voltage limiter. So what we do is at the output we connect two Zener diodes back to back, D1 and D2. So these Zener diodes connected back to back would serve as a voltage limiter. So basically, if the breakdown voltage of the if the Zener diode has a breakdown voltage VZ1 and VZ2, then the output will oscillate between plus VD1 plus VZ2, and it will oscillate between the other point will be minus of VD2 plus VZ1. So these are the 2 points it will oscillate. Now the output amplitude will be limited. So the positive half will have positive peak will have VD1 plus VZ1, where VD1 is the diode voltage. You know that Zener diode in the forward direction works as a normal diode. So this will be VD1 plus VZ1. VZ1 is a reverse breakdown of the diode number 2, that is D2. And negative side you have minus of VD2 plus VZ1. Okay, so this we have already seen in the numerical, but just for a revision. Okay, I guess we have completed our objective of deriving the frequency expression for a stable multivibrator. So that's it for today's lecture. Next time we'll see a design numerical on a stable multivibrator. So until then, have a good day and thank you.